Hi there, this is Margaret and welcome to my YouTube channel Grammar Buzz Learning Made Easy. Hey, thanks for joining me today. In today's video, we are going to learn about the rules of converting direct speech to indirect speech. But before we move on to the main part of the lesson, you already know what? Hey, let us quickly know the lesson objectives for the day. And the lesson objective today aims at helping us to know the rules of converting direct speech to indirect speech. Well, before we get to know the rules of conversion, let us quickly recapitulate what we have already learned in our previous video. Yes, it is revision time. Well, in our previous video, we have already learned that there are two ways of reporting the act of a speaker. That is, there are two ways of reporting a narration. One is through indirect speech and one is through direct speech. Direct and indirect speech, indirect and direct speech. Yes, these are the two ways in which you can report the words of a speaker. So, what is direct speech? Well, direct speech, as we already know, is writing down or reporting the actual words that were said by a speaker. This means the actual words of the speaker are quoted as it is without making any change. The exact words of the speaker are enclosed in quotation marks or speech marks. Well, don't you remember that? I bet you do. So now, what about indirect speech? What about it? Well, indirect speech is sometimes known as reported speech, as you already know. And indirect speech is when the exact words of the speaker are transformed and they are said or written in simple language. Now that we already know what is direct and indirect speech, it is time for us to understand the rules of conversion. So, to convert direct speech into indirect speech, you should know the rules of conversion. So, let's get started. Well, to begin with, our first rule, and it states that if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the verb in the reporting speech is not changed at all. Remember, if the reporting verb is in present or future tense, the verb in the reporting speech is not changed at all. Well, now let us try and understand this rule with the help of some examples. So it is our example time. And our example sentence states, she says, I am unwell. She says, I am unwell. Note the reporting verb says in the sentence. It is in present tense. So as the rule states, if the reporting verb is in present or future tense, the verb in the reporting speech is not changed at all. So when we change this to indirect speech, we will have, she says that she is unwell. Note the tense of the verb am in the reporting speech. It remains unchanged. That is, the tense remains in present tense. Well, what about the next example? And it states, the cook will say dinner was ready. The cook will say dinner was ready. Note the reporting verb will say in the sentence. It is in future tense. So as the rule states, if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the verb in the reporting speech is not changed at all. So when we change this to indirect speech, we will have the cook will say that dinner was ready. Note the verb will say in the reporting speech, it remains unchanged. Well, as you have already understood this rule quite well, I guess it's time for us to move on with the second rule. And the second rule states, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reporting speech is also changed to past tense. Remember, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reporting speech is also changed into past tense. Now let us understand this rule with the help of an example. And our example sentence states, Bob said, I am happy. Bob said, I am happy. Note the reporting verb said in the sentence. It is in past tense. So as the rule states, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the verb in the reporting speech is also changed to past tense. And the verb in the reporting speech is am. Now, when we change this to indirect speech, we will have Bob said that he was happy. Bob said that he was happy. Note the verb in the reporting speech now. It has changed from am, which is in present tense, to was, which is in past tense. I guess you have quite followed this. So, let us move on with an exception. Yes. Well, there's an exception to the second rule, and that is if reported speech contains some universal or habitual fact, then the simple present in the reported speech is not changed into simple past but remains unchanged. Remember that if the reported speech contains a universal truth or habitual fact, then the simple present in the reported speech is not changed into simple past but it remains unchanged. Now let us try and follow this with the help of an example. Let us take into account this example. And it states, he said the earth goes round the sun. He said the earth goes round the sun. Since the sentence states a universal fact, when we convert this sentence to indirect speech, the verb goes in reported speech, which is in present tense, will remain unchanged. So, in our indirect speech, we will have, he said that the earth goes round the sun. He said that the earth goes round the sun. I guess you have quite followed this rule, haven't you? Okay, so let's move on with our third rule of conversion, and that states rules of present tense in direct speech. Now let us find out what are the rules for present tense in direct speech. Well, remember, the simple present tense of reported speech changes to simple past in indirect speech. Isn't that quite simple to remember? Simple present in reported speech changes to simple past in indirect speech, right? So now let us understand this with the help of an example. And our example sentence states, I am sleepy, she said. I am sleepy, she said. While converting this into indirect speech, we will change the reported speech to past tense. And we will have, she said that she was sleepy. She said that she was sleepy. Hey, isn't that quite simple to follow? I guess it is. Now, you also need to remember that the present continuous tense of reporting speech changes to past continuous in indirect speech. Remember that the present continuous tense of reporting speech changes to past continuous in indirect speech. Let us consider the following example. And our example sentence is, I am reading a book, he explained. I am reading a book, he explained. The word am reading states that the reporting speech is in present continuous tense. So when we convert this to indirect speech, we will be having, he explained that he was reading a book. He explained that he was reading a book. Now, was reading a book is in the past continuous tense. Simple, right? I bet it is. Well, there's something else for you to remember. And that is, present perfect changes to past perfect in indirect speech. The present perfect in the reporting speech changes to past perfect when the sentence is converted to indirect speech. For example, she said, he has finished his food. She said, he has finished his food. Now, he has finished is in the present perfect tense. So, while changing this sentence to indirect speech, the present perfect will change to past perfect, and we have, she said that he had finished his food. She said that he had finished his food. Note the verb had finished. It is in past perfect tense. Hey, I guess you have quite followed that rule, haven't you? I bet you have. If you haven't, then go back and see the video once again. Okay, let's move on with our next rule, and that states conversion rules of past tense. The next rule is conversion rule for past tense. So, what is the conversion rule for past tense? To begin with, all you need to remember is simple past changes to past perfect. Simple past in reporting speech, it changes to past perfect when it is converted to indirect speech. Let us take this example sentence. And it states, he said Ira arrived on Monday. He said Ira arrived on Monday. The verb arrived is in past tense. When converting this to indirect speech, arrived will change to had arrived. And we will have, he said that Ira had arrived on Monday. Well, had arrived in the indirect speech is in past perfect tense. So remember, the simple past in reporting speech changes to past perfect when we are converting the sentence to indirect speech. So, what about the next rule for past tense? And that states, past continuous in reporting speech changes to past perfect continuous in indirect speech. Remember that past continuous in reporting speech changes to past perfect continuous in indirect speech. Let us take the example sentence. We were living in Goa, they told me. We were living in Goa, they told me. In this sentence, were living is in past continuous tense. Following the rule, let us now convert this sentence into indirect speech. And we have, they told me that they had been living in Goa. They told me that they had been living in Goa. Note the verb had been living. It is in past perfect continuous tense. Simple, right? Now, let us move on with our next rule of conversion, and that is changes in modal verbs. So, what are the changes that takes place in modal verbs while we convert direct speech to indirect speech? Let us have a look at each of them one at a time. So, to begin with, can changes into could. The modal verb can changes into could while we are converting a sentence in indirect speech. So what about this sentence? Well, it states, Neil said I can swim. Neil said I can swim. Note the modal verb can indirect speech. While converting this sentence to indirect speech, the modal verb can will change to could. And we have, Neil said that he could swim. Neil said that he could swim. Simple so far, right? Okay, let's take into account our next modal verb, and that is may. Well, may changes into might. The modal verb may changes into might while converting a sentence from direct to indirect speech. Let us take the example. He said, I may buy a house. He said, I may buy a house. While changing this to indirect speech, the modal verb may changes to might. And our sentence is, he said that he might buy a house. He said that he might buy a house. Hey, good job. I guess you have quite understood these two. Well, moving on with our next modal verb, and that is must. Remember, must changes into either had to or would have to when a sentence is converted from direct to indirect speech. So remember that must changes into had to or would have to when a sentence is converted from direct to indirect speech. Let us consider the example sentence. She said, I must work hard. She said, I must work hard. While changing this sentence to indirect speech, the modal verb must gets converted to either had to or would have to. And our indirect speech is, she said that she had to work hard, or she said that she would have to work hard. Well, you need to remember an exception. There are certain modal verbs that do not change even when a sentence is converted to indirect speech. Let us take a look at them. So, modal verbs that do not change are would, could, might, should, ought to. Remember, modal verbs that do not change are would, could, might, should, and ought to. Now let us take the example sentence. He said, I should face the challenge. He said, I should face the challenge. Note the modal verb should in this sentence. According to the rule, while changing this direct speech to indirect speech, the modal verb should will remain unchanged. And our sentence is, he said that he should face the challenge. He said that he should face the challenge. So that was all with the modal verbs. Now moving on with our next conversion rule, that is conversion of interrogative sentences. Conversion of interrogative sentences. So let us take a look at them one at a time. Well, to begin with, reporting verbs like said, said to, changes to asked, inquired or demanded. Remember that in interrogative sentence or when we are converting an interrogative sentence to indirect speech, verbs like said or said to changes to asked, inquired or demanded. So what about this sentence? She said to me, what are you doing? She said to me, what are you doing? Surely it's an interrogative sentence, and as the rule suggests, while converting an interrogative sentence to indirect speech, the reporting verb said to changes to either asked, inquired or demanded. And so we have, she asked me what I was doing. She asked me what I was doing. Simple so far, right? But if a sentence begins with auxiliary verb like is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had, will or shall, the joining word in indirect speech should be if or whether. Remember that if a sentence, that is an interrogative sentence, begins with an auxiliary verb, then the joining word in indirect speech should be if or whether. Remember, if the answer to the question is either yes or no, we use whether or if. This is quite simple for you to remember. If the interrogative question answers is either yes or no, then in indirect speech we use whether or if. Now let us consider our example sentence. And it states, she said, will you all come for the party? She said, will you all come for the party? In this sentence, will is the auxiliary verb that begins the reporting speech. Moreover, the answer to this question could either be yes or no. So while converting this to indirect speech, we will use the joining word if or whether. And our indirect speech is, she asked them if they could come for the party, or she asked them whether they would come for the party. Simple so far, right? Okay, let's move on with the next part, and that is, if sentence begin with WH questions, then no conjunction is used, as the question word itself acts as a joining clause. Remember that if the interrogative sentence begins with a WH word, then the conjunction that is not used in indirect speech, as the question word itself acts as a joining word. So let us look into the example sentence, and that is, where do you live? Asked the girl. Where do you live? Asked the girl. Note the reporting speech, it begins with the WH question word where. So while converting this sentence into indirect speech, we will have the girl inquired where I lived, not the girl inquired that where I lived. So we do not use the conjunction word that, as the question word where itself acts as a joining word, and we have the indirect speech, the girl inquired where I lived. So now it's time for us to move on with our next conversion rule, and that is change of pronouns. Yes, change of pronouns. So what about change of pronouns? Hey, let us have a look at it. And it states, the first person of the reported speech changes to the same person according to the subject of the reporting speech. The first person of the reported speech changes to the same person according to the subject of the reporting speech. What does this mean? Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. And our example sentence states, Anna said, I am in 9th class. Anne said, I am in 9th class. In this sentence, I is the first person pronoun and the subject of the sentence is Anne. Anne is a female, so while changing this sentence to indirect speech, we will need a pronoun that will agree with Anne. And our sentence in indirect speech will be, Anne said that she was in 9th class. Anne said that she was in 9th class. In this sentence, the first person pronoun I has changed to she in accordance to the subject of the sentence Anne. I guess you have understood this quite well. I bet you have. So now moving on with the next part of the rule, and that is the second person of reported speech changes according to the object of the sentence. The second person of the reported speech changes according to the object of the sentence. Let us try and understand this with the help of an example. And our example sentence says, he says to me, you have completed your job. He says to me, you have completed your job. In this sentence, you is the second person pronoun and me is the object of the sentence. So while converting this to indirect speech, the second person pronoun will change in accordance to the object of the sentence. And we have, he tells me that I have completed my job. He tells me that I have completed my job. Well, the next rule is quite simple, you see. And it states the third person of the reported speech doesn't change at all. Remember, the third person pronoun of reported speech, it doesn't change at all, or it remains unchanged. So let us take the sentence into consideration. And it says, he says she has toothache. He says she has toothache. In this sentence, she is the third person pronoun. So while converting this sentence to indirect speech, the third person pronoun she remains unchanged. And our sentence is, he says that she has toothache. He says that she has toothache. So that's with pronouns. Now it's time for us to know the next conversion rule, and that is change of place and time. Conversion rule with regards to change of place and time. So, what does this mean? Well, all it means is words expressing nearness in time or place in direct speech are generally changed into words expressing distance in indirect speech. Remember that words expressing nearness in time or place in direct speech are generally changed into words expressing distance in indirect speech. Now let us quickly take a look at the words that express nearness in time or place in direct speech and how they are changed into words expressing distance in indirect speech. And they are: indirect speech, words like now changes to then in indirect speech, here changes to there, this changes to that, these to those, ago to before, tomorrow to the next day, yesterday to the day before or the previous day, last day to the night before or the previous night, hither to thither, next week or next month to the following week or following month, thus to so. And it's important for you to remember this. So now let us try and follow this with the help of an example. And our example sentence states, she said, my father came yesterday. She said, my father came yesterday. Note the word yesterday. It expresses nearness in time. So while converting this sentence to indirect speech, yesterday will change to either the day before or the previous day. And our sentence will be, she said that her father had come the day before, or she said that her father had come the previous day. Isn't that quite simple? I bet it is. So moving on with our next rule of conversion, and that is rules of conversion for commands, request, exclamation or wish. So what about it? Let's find out. Well, remember, in reporting a command or a request, the reporting verb is changed to a verb expressing a command, advice or request. Words used in request can be request or implored. Words used in commands can be order, bid or warn. Words used in proposal can be advise, proposed or suggest. And words used in prohibition can be forbid. Remember that? Words used in command can be order, bid or warn. Words used in request can be request or implore. Words used in proposal can be advise, proposed or suggest. And words used in prohibit can be forbid. Now let us try and understand this rule with the help of an example. So, in reporting an imperative sentence like a command, the reporting verb is changed to a verb expressing a command like order or bid. Let us understand this with the help of an example. And our example sentence is, Rafiq said to Ahmed, go away. Rafiq said to Ahmed, go away. Well, if you note closely, you will understand that this sentence is a command or an order given by Rafiq to Ahmed. So, while converting this sentence to indirect speech, we can use the words like order or bid. And a sentence in indirect speech would be, Rafiq ordered Ahmed to go away, or Rafiq bid Ahmed to go away. Simple, right? Okay, now let us take a look at a request. So let us consider another example, but this time with a request. We already know request in indirect speech is introduced by some words like request or implore. So let us understand this. And our sentence is, I said to Mona, please give me your bag. I said to Mona, please give me your bag. If you note closely, you will understand that this sentence is a request made. So while converting this sentence to indirect speech, we can use words like requested or implored. And a sentence in indirect speech would be, I requested Mona to give me her bag, or I implored Mona to give me her bag. Simple, right? But you see, according to our next rule, when the direct speech is introduced by some verb expressing exclamation or wish, all interjections are omitted, but their force is kept by suitable adverbs or expressive words. Remember, when the direct speech is introduced by some verb expressing exclamation or wish, the interjections are omitted, but their force is kept by suitable adverbs or expressive words given below. And these expressive words are hooray, expressing joy; hush, expressing attention; alas, expressing grief or sorrow; what or oh, expressing scorn; bravo, expressing approval; pooh, expressing contempt; and ugh, expressing disgust. Now let us understand this with the help of an example. And our example sentence states, he said, alas, I am undone. He said, alas, I am undone. Note the word alas. It certainly expresses a feeling of sadness or grief. So while converting this sentence to indirect speech, we will remember to omit the interjection alas. And our sentence in indirect speech will be, he exclaimed sadly that he was undone. He exclaimed sadly that he was undone. And you see, that was the last of our rule for conversion. And you can really give a pat on your back. Hey, congratulations, you have reached the practice time. And you know what? In today's practice time, I will be giving you sentences in direct speech, and you will have to convert them to indirect speech, keeping in mind the rules of conversion that we have already learnt in this video. So are we ready? Are we? I bet we are. And here comes our first sentence. And it states, she says, I am listening to music. She says, I am listening to music. So how are you going to change this to indirect speech? Have you figured it out? Have you? I bet you have. So let us check our answers together. And it states, she says that she is listening to music. She says that she is listening to music. Well, what about the next sentence? And it states, I am writing for Michael, he said. I am writing for Michael, he said. Hey, what about this one? Have you already figured it out? Have you? I bet you have. So let's check together. And our indirect speech would be, he said that he was writing for Michael. He said that he was writing for Michael. Hey, good job. That was a very good job indeed. So let's take a look at our next sentence, and that is, I was walking along the street with Coco, said Grandpa. I was walking along the street with Coco, said Grandpa. Hey, what about this one? Have you got it all right? Have you figured it out? It's quite easy, you see. Take a close look. I bet you have. And our indirect speech is, Grandpa said that he had been walking along the street with Coco. Grandpa said that he had been walking along the street with Coco. Hey, great job. Moving on with our next example sentence, and that is, who was that fantastic man? Asked the boy. Who was that fantastic man? Asked the boy. What about this one? What do you think? Have you got it? Have you? I bet you have. So let's convert this together. And that is, the boy inquired, who was that fantastic man? The boy inquired, who was that fantastic man? Okay. Now moving on with our next sentence, and that is, please bring my book tonight, said Kate. Please bring my book tonight, said Kate. So, quickly convert this to indirect speech. I bet you can. So, have you done it? Let's check the answers together. And that is, Kate requested me to bring her book that night. Kate requested me to bring her book that night. Hey, great job. Now moving on with our next sentence, and that is, they said we may go to Canada. They said we may go to Canada. So what about this one? Have you got it all right? Have you? I bet you have. So let's share our answers, and that is, they said that they might go to Canada. They said that they might go to Canada. Well, take a look at the next example, and that is, Kanika said, I ought to avoid junk food. Kanika said, I ought to avoid junk food. So what about this one? How will you convert this to indirect speech? Have you found out? Have you done it? I bet you have. So let's check our answers. And that is, Kanika said that she ought to avoid junk food. Kanika said that she ought to avoid junk food. Hey, great job. That was a real good job that you did. And this is our last sentence. And the last sentence for you is, the teacher said the sun rises in the east. The teacher said the sun rises in the east. So what about this one? Have you got it all right? Have you? I bet you have. And our sentence is, the teacher said that the sun rises in the east. Great job. The teacher says that the sun rises in the east. Hey, that was a real fantastic job that you have done. I hope this video helped you to understand the rules of converting direct speech to indirect speech and how we use them. If you have any questions at all, you know what to do. Just pop them in the comment box and I will get back to you. Hey, thanks for watching and staying on with me throughout this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, press the bell icon and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. This is Margaret signing off for today. Take care of yourself and bye.